Success is built not just on what you face outside, but on what you build within. Welcome to Module 6, Business Principles, Chapter 5, The Internal Environment, Evaluating Resources, Capabilities, and Competitiveness. In the previous chapter, we explored the external environment. Now, we turn inward, because true strength comes from within the organization. For security and risk professionals, understanding internal capabilities is critical. It is not enough to know the threats, we must also know our strengths, limitations, and readiness. This chapter will help you analyze how organizations build competitive advantage from their internal resources and capabilities, and how this directly impacts performance and resilience. Let's begin by looking inside the organization, where strategy truly comes to life. The internal environment focuses on what the organization controls, its resources, capabilities, and overall competitiveness. As Robert Hayes rightly said, organizations succeed when they do certain things better than their competitors. Internal analysis involves systematically evaluating what the company has, its assets, skills, processes, and how effectively these are used. When combined with external analysis, it provides a complete picture, helping organizations align strengths with opportunities while addressing weaknesses and threats. For security professionals, this means assessing whether the organization is truly capable of managing risks and sustaining operations under pressure. To analyze the internal environment effectively, we must ask 6 critical questions. First, how well is the company's strategy working? Second, what are the firm's key resources and capabilities? Third, what are its strengths and weaknesses relative to competitors? Fourth, how do its activities create value through the value chain? Fifth, is the company competitively stronger or weaker than its rivals? And finally, what strategic issues require immediate attention? These questions provide a structured approach, ensuring that internal analysis is not random, but focused and actionable. Evaluating strategy effectiveness is the starting point of internal analysis. A good strategy should deliver strong financial performance, consistent growth, and a clear competitive position. Key indicators include sales trends, profitability, market share, and customer retention. Equally important are warning signs, declining performance, inefficiencies, or inability to respond to change. Internal metrics such as productivity, cost efficiency, and employee performance also reveal whether execution is on track. For security professionals, this evaluation helps determine whether risk management is aligned with business strategy or whether gaps exist that need urgent attention. A business strategy is more than a plan. It is a coordinated set of actions designed to achieve competitive advantage. It includes decisions across multiple functions: finance, operations, marketing, human resources, and supply chain. A strong strategy aligns these components to deliver value to customers while maintaining efficiency and control. However, weak strategies often show poor alignment, unclear priorities, and inconsistent execution. For security professionals, understanding these components is essential, because risks often arise when strategy and execution are not aligned. At the heart of internal analysis are resources and capabilities. Resources are what a company owns, such as financial assets, physical infrastructure, technology, brand reputation, and human capital. Capabilities, on the other hand, refer to what a company can do, its ability to use these resources effectively through processes, skills, and systems. When resources and capabilities are combined effectively, they create a competitive edge, allowing the organization to perform better than its rivals. For security professionals, this means ensuring that both resources and capabilities are strong enough to support resilience, continuity, and strategic success. The VRIN framework helps determine whether a company's resources can provide a sustainable competitive advantage. For a resource to be truly valuable, it must improve efficiency or effectiveness. It must be rare, not widely possessed by competitors. It should be difficult to imitate, meaning competitors cannot easily copy it. And finally, it must be non-substitutable. There should be no easy alternatives. If a resource meets all four criteria, it becomes a strong source of long-term advantage. For security professionals, this framework helps identify which capabilities truly strengthen resilience and differentiate the organization. In a rapidly changing environment, having strong resources is not enough. Organizations must continuously evolve. Dynamic capabilities refer to the ability to adapt, integrate, and reconfigure resources to respond to change. This includes modifying processes, building new competencies, and reallocating resources as needed. Organizations that develop strong dynamic capabilities can stay competitive even in uncertain and disruptive environments. For security professionals, this means constantly updating systems, skills, and strategies to address emerging risks and threats. SWOT analysis provides a simple yet powerful way to combine internal and external insights. Strengths and weaknesses come from within the organization, its resources and capabilities. Opportunities and threats arise from the external environment. The goal is to leverage strengths, address weaknesses, capitalize on opportunities, and defend against threats. A well-done SWOT analysis helps align strategy with reality, ensuring that decisions are both practical and effective. For security professionals, it provides a clear picture of vulnerabilities and areas of advantage. Capabilities develop in stages, from basic competence to core competence. A capability begins as a simple ability to perform a task. With experience and consistency, it becomes a competence. When it provides differentiation, it becomes a distinctive competence. And when it delivers sustained competitive advantage, it becomes a core competence. Core competencies are difficult to replicate and form the foundation of long-term success. For security professionals, identifying and strengthening such competencies is key to building a resilient and competitive organization. The value chain helps us understand how an organization creates value for its customers. It includes primary activities such as inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing, and service. It also includes support activities like procurement, technology, human resources, and infrastructure. Each activity contributes to cost and value. The goal is to optimize processes to enhance value while controlling costs. For security professionals, every stage of the value chain presents potential risks and opportunities to strengthen protection and efficiency. While the value chain framework is universal, its application varies across industries. In retail, primary activities focus on procurement, inventory management, and sales. In manufacturing, operations and production processes are central. In service industries, customer interaction and experience become critical. Understanding these differences helps organizations allocate resources effectively and focus on what matters most. For security professionals, this means tailoring risk management strategies to the specific value chain of the industry. The value chain is not a set of isolated activities. It is an interconnected system. Every activity, from sourcing raw materials to delivering the final product, is linked. A change in one area impacts the entire chain. For example, strong supplier collaboration can reduce costs, improve quality, and enhance efficiency across operations. Companies like leading retailers and manufacturers optimize these linkages to create seamless value delivery. The key insight is this: competitive advantage comes not just from individual activities, but from how well they are integrated. For security professionals, this means risks must be assessed across the entire system, not in silos, because vulnerabilities in one area can affect the whole organization. Benchmarking is the process of comparing your organization's performance with industry leaders or best-in-class companies. It helps identify gaps in cost, efficiency, quality, and processes. There are different types of benchmarking: internal, industry-based, and global best practices. The goal is not just comparison, but improvement, learning what works and adapting it to your own organization. For instance, studying how top companies manage supply chains or customer service can reveal powerful insights. For security professionals, benchmarking helps identify whether current practices meet global standards, or if critical improvements are needed to strengthen resilience. Value chain analysis becomes truly powerful when it is translated into competitive advantage. Organizations can pursue two primary strategies: cost advantage or differentiation advantage. In a cost-based approach, firms optimize activities to reduce expenses while maintaining acceptable quality. In a differentiation strategy, they focus on creating unique value through innovation, quality, or customer experience. The key is alignment. Every activity in the value chain must support the chosen strategy. For security professionals, this means ensuring that protection measures do not just add cost, but also contribute to value by enhancing trust, reliability, and operational continuity. A critical step in internal analysis is comparing the organization's strength against its competitors. This involves evaluating key success factors, such as cost efficiency, innovation, brand strength, and operational performance. A structured scoring approach can help quantify strengths and weaknesses across these areas. If the company consistently outperforms competitors, it holds a competitive advantage. If not, it must identify and address its gaps. For security professionals, this comparison highlights whether the organization's risk management and resilience capabilities are leading or lagging behind industry standards. After analyzing internal strengths and weaknesses, the next step is to identify the most critical strategic issues. These are the challenges that demand immediate attention and action. They may include competitive threats, resource gaps, declining performance, or emerging market changes. Prioritization is key. Not all issues are equally important. Organizations must focus on what has the greatest impact on performance and long-term success. For security professionals, this means identifying high-risk vulnerabilities and addressing them proactively before they escalate into major disruptions. In the world of strategy, tactics are short-term actions that support long-term goals. However, competitors often imitate successful strategies, reducing their effectiveness over time. This leads to the concept of creative destruction, where innovation disrupts existing advantages and creates new ones. Organizations must continuously evolve, innovate, and adapt to stay ahead. Standing still is not an option, because what works today may become obsolete tomorrow. For security professionals, this reinforces the need for continuous improvement, updating systems, strategies, and capabilities to stay ahead of evolving threats. As we conclude Chapter 5, let's reflect on the key takeaway: true competitive strength comes from within the organization. As the saying goes, excellence is never an accident. It is the result of continuous effort, smart strategy, and the strength within. We explored how resources and capabilities shape performance, how the VRIN framework tests sustainable advantage, and how value chain activities create both cost efficiency and customer value. We also saw that strengths must be continuously developed, weaknesses must be addressed, and strategies must evolve in a dynamic environment. For security and risk professionals, the message is clear: resilience is not built overnight. It is created through strong systems, capable people, and the ability to adapt faster than emerging threats. The strongest organizations are not those that face the least challenges, but those that are best prepared from within to overcome them. Thank you for being part of this session. If you found this valuable, do subscribe and join the complete series for structured, exam-focused learning and assured success.